Hello, guys. Hope you're doing well. This is TJ, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And this week's Raw was a pretty decent Raw, I would say. Not very bad. Some good moments were there here and there. In case of building, I would say that pretty much they have already built up. The Raw side was already filled in Money in the Bank competitors case. If we look upon, so there was nothing to say in that aspect. And I expected some six-man tag or something from Money in the Bank men's situation, but they didn't hype it that well. It wasn't a very good hype episode for Monday Night Raw, but it still actually intrigued me with another good things that they actually showed in this episode. And there was booking errors as well. So I'd speak about that. Lots to talk about. So if we get into this review, before we get into this review, please make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content reviews like this. And tell me your thoughts. What's a match you're most looking forward to in Money in the Bank, and how much are you excited that crowd is returning back? So we get into this review then. So the first match we began with was Bobby Lashley versus Xavier Woods. So WWE champion kicks off the Monday Night Raw, and this match was already actually announced last week, and this match result was one of the baddest. Uh, one of the baddest actually booking that ever I have terrible booking that I have seen. Actually, that's the correct word you can say, because I know what they have done. Because the match itself, I would say it was a normal match, nothing to say that much. It was Xavier Woods working as a very good baby face, and Bobby Lashley as a very good heel that he works upon with power moves and choke slams and all that he does. Nothing new that we saw here, but. Yeah, so certainly this match, I had said that the result, I was shocked actually, because in the end we saw Woods was had the crossface. Lashley was able to escape that and hit a side slam. He actually escalates into the ropes as MVP, kind of hypes him up and gives him energy, kind of. And Lashley hits a spear. Woods with an inside cradle out of nowhere. I think he was going for the unexpected. He was very overconfident. The story was that. So he was. I think so. He was didn't expect it, and we didn't expect it. So he had a cradle pin and got the victory. I mean, this is a terrible booking that I have ever seen in recent times, actually, because before the pay-per-view you should have the champion looking strong going into this. Even though it's a predictable championship match, we know Bobby Lashley would be retaining, but still there's another element they actually added. That's why they actually this played out this situation. I know the crowds are returning back next week. That's why they actually had this question mark, kind of, because if we see Woods got the victory, now Kofi Kingston is going to be challenging. I mean, going to have a match with Bobby Lashley. So what after that? I mean, the result we are expecting, 99%, you can say close to 100%, as much as possible, that Bobby Lashley is going to retain the championship. But what after that, actually? Because now Xavier Woods, he haven't tilted his behavior and all. He's still kind of a good friend behavior with Kofi Kingston. But I highly doubt they are not going with this angle, because there's no doubt, if they actually done this, they would have done for something or the another reason, just to have the storyline played out. Because now there are lots of openings and lots of things, and the main event angle they show, I would speak about that. And that pretty much actually hints a very very strong kind of character change. So that's I am expecting. But still, I would say one of the terrible booking that WWE is they always does. But I just want to say that this was a bad, man. I mean, Lashley looked bad here. I mean, just he's just booked very strong and very strong champion since he became champion, and now we are losing to. I mean, Kofi Kingston is a ex WWE champion, I know, but but now Xavier Woods, I mean, that wasn't good. Maybe they could have done after the pay per view or down the line, you could say that. But before the pay per view, it wasn't good for the go home show. For yeah, so that wasn't the. I mean, they certainly are going with unorthodox booking. I mean, unpredictable booking. That's what they are doing. I don't. We should focus on the positive things as well. If you look upon only negative things, we would be not enjoying any show. So I am looking at the positive things as well, the negative things as well. The negative thing is the booking. This is the terrible booking, but the booking they did okay. They did it, but now they should have to explain why they did it. If they don't explain, then it's like in some 1 to 2 3 weeks. Yeah, you could explain that why did you lose him, I mean, to Xavier Woods. So that I want to see, if because most probably Bobby Lashley is gonna retain the championship that we are expecting, but there's chance that that isn't going to be happen. That's a chance that's there. So that's the match, and we get to the a segment where we are informed Bobby Lashley has left the building. MVP asked where he went. MVP says he has left the building, but it's not a big deal. He says MVP personally guarantees that he will be in the VIP lounge this evening. So this VIP lounge segment was confirmed. So there was something that's gonna happen. So I doubt about, because always the face off contact scene is already happened. So it's something that was brewing up because Bobby Lashley left the building. He was very upset of how he lost the match. He just needs some positive vibes and champagne, as MVP says to Kevin, the backstage interviewer. We go back to last week where Jinder stole a sword, and another story where Jinder Mahal is having finally is having storyline with Drew McIntyre. Finally, I'm witnessing this storyline. I was so expecting this storyline to happen ever since Jinder Mahal returned. Actually, I was expecting Sheamus storyline, but they didn't work out very well. But they didn't do it. Yeah, they didn't do it actually, but glad they are doing this. But the storyline, I am not very into it. I would say that just for that respect kind of thing they are doing this. But if this would have been the first championship, it would have been very good, man. Think about that. Down the line, they should definitely do second part of this in a championship champion. But still, they are doing something with Drew McIntyre, and he's not in the WWE championship picture. I'm glad that he's working with Jinder Mahal, and the story would work very well if you see, because they had the history of the TMB and all. So I expect a good progression to the story, and expect this a good storyline, and expect this I expect the matches and all to be good. So we and Bliss, then we get to the Bliss segment. So I was speaking about Jinder actually. So go back to last week where Jinder stole a sword. Jinder's boys come up to him earlier tonight and hand him a sword, and Bliss is on her swing actually, and is so excited to back in front of all of us. And she thinks how much fun she can get into if she has hands on the contract. And next is Eva Marie with Piper behind her. Piper and Eva, I mean, Doudrop. Eva is wondering if they're going to be introduced anytime soon, because this was Alexa Playground segment. So next we get to the Alexa Playground segment where Eva Marie and Doudrop were the guest, but Eva Marie wasn't very interested to join this show because she wasn't being introduced like she expected. But Doudrop and Alexa Bliss make it a really good friend. Actually, they were saying hi. They were saying they were behaving a very good friends, and they did like each other very well. And Eva says, "What did you can describe in one word?" Actually, Bliss asked that, and Eva says, "Evolutionary, all because of her." Just like they got the victory last week, and Bliss isn't liking what she's saying. Bliss, we all know what happened. Bliss says Eva wasn't invited to the playground. She's like a surprise bonus. Eva says she's a star of Monday Night Raw, headlining of Superstar, and she didn't get that kind of welcoming that she expected. So she actually said that I'm not interested in this grubby little playground. And Bliss didn't get angry or something, but Doudrop actually I actually she says bye, and that was it. So Doudrop and Alexa Bliss is kind of having a friendship there. So yeah, So Alexa Bliss is having so much of storylines. First, she was having with Nia Jax and Reggie and all that included Shayna Baszler. Now that's not focused, I think, because they're completely out of that. That's not focused actually. Actually, Nia Jax and Reggie and Shayna Baszler weren't even in the show this week actually. So and they are completely to this evolution do drop kind of character, and certainly they are actually focusing on that Nikki Cross, Nikki's storyline, because that fatal war situation we saw. And after they leave, Bliss mocks Eva. She leaves and calls her silly and just laughs. And Jinder Mahal is the next segment. Jinder is in the ring, and he says he may have taken things too far. He knows Drew is proud of the Scottish heritage. He was acting like a babyface. He says that I'm ready to give your sword back. I know I did I didn't do good thing, so you can come out and take the sword. But I was I was confirmed that something is fishy. And Drew is backstage, and he says hello from the Titantron, and he knows Jinder is tough but wants him to cut the BS and get to the point. And Jinder says this is him, his friend. He wanted to do this in person, but whatever he has a sword refinished. They unveil the sword, and he says that he didn't he didn't know that this is such a delicate kind of thing. He was just acting like he didn't broke it or something, because he was the one, obviously. So really cringe segment, I would say. Not a very good segment I liked about. I mean, this sword storyline, I mean, was isn't working very well. I don't know. They should have some physicality going on. Certainly, that would be interesting. And Drew is very upset on the screen, but he says this is Raw. You can't show up on Raw with your real car, motorcycle, or sword and not expect it to be destroyed. He says, and he says that's not the real sword. This is the real sword. That's a replica one. And Drew has his real sword. And speaking about, and he heads over to his bike, and he says that's not a replica. He completely breaks that bike, and that was a fun segment there. I mean, that was a fun moment there. You could say the whole segment wasn't very good, but that part of the segment, that moment was good. I like that. So Jinder is furious, and he's very angry, and that ends this segment. And we get to backstage where Nikki is in her new character that she's portraying, and here comes Riddle to talk to her. Uh, Firstly, I actually had this thought that they actually had so much of chemistry with each other. I mean, they both are kind of a very confident, motivated, kind of nothing you can achieve anything kind of character, and that they're portraying. I mean, there's a certain difference here and there, I would say that, but that childish kind of character they are portraying. Imagine if they have the mixed tag team match or something. That would be good. I mean, just I actually had a thought on my mind. I mean, it's definitely like it's definitely like out of nowhere idea I got, but still they were pretty having a good chemistry there. And he wonders why she won't just fly to the top of the ladder and grab the. I mean, just a fairy tale kind of promo they had, because they know. I mean, they were cutting the promo like they were in the fairy world. They can do everything that you cannot do in this world. And Riddle, she corrects Riddle. She's almost a superhero, and her music hits actually, and she says that she's ready to fly. And Riddle gets kind of questionable that if she didn't said that is she not able to fly, and that was a good way to end the segment. I mean, it's just a short segment, fun segment. I thought about there's so fun little elements. I thought about that actually added this episode somewhat interest, I would say. Not a big interest or something, but somewhat a kind of fun thing that they had. And we get to the second match. This is a pretty big match, you could say, because this is the important match of this week's Raw. This was fatal four-way match: Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash, almost superhero, versus Asuka versus Naomi. These four girls, I mean, these four women superstars are going to be competing in the men's Money in the Bank. Women's Money in the Bank. Sorry for that. Women's Money in the Bank, the Raw side, and this match I mean, this match was good. I mean, they worked very well. I mean, Naomi got a lot of time here. You could see that Naomi did work very well. She's just like Natalya. She works. She's her character, her promo cutting are not very best, but she does it well. She's a fine match kind of. kind of Natalia, kind of a superstar who can deliver it every now and then. So that Naomi did show a very lot of resilience here, and she had a lot of offense on Asuka and Nikki Cross or Nikki Ash, Alexa Bliss had a there was interference by Lou Drop and Eva Marie. They come out. I don't know. They are in the not in the Money in the Bank, and Alexa Bliss sees Lou Drop, and they are kind of giggling with each other. And Eva Marie is not liking, and Eva Marie just say something, and Alexa Bliss goes to Eva Marie, and Eva Marie is afraid that she would be attacking, and Alexa Bliss screamed just like he screamed. She screamed on. She screamed on Nia Jax. So she didn't scream. Eva didn't scream. She was afraid, and that actually led to Doudrop as actually helping her friend Eva Marie, and that was the thing. I mean, she was a friend, but that's an interesting turn that she isn't with Alexa Bliss because Eva Marie is a kind of a long time friend for her. I think so. So maybe this should end, man. They already had spilled beans for this. I mean, they should end this storyline. This Eva Maria and Doudrop, she should go to her normal name, so that Piper never name that would be better. And as I said, my match was kind of distracted with this moment, but this was not a very bad distraction because after that, as I said, Doudrop attacked, and Doudrop actually I mean throws her over the top barricade, and Eva Marie comes up and she looks upon, and then saying Alexa Bliss, and where is Lexi? Eva Marie asks, and she's just vanished, and she wasn't here in this match after that, and she was completely lost. She was completely not there, and the three of them, then Nikki Ash, Asuka, Naomi, were working, and this was the time Naomi got a lot of offenses, and it was a good match, I would say, even though the distractions were there, but it was not a very bad distraction. One of the better match of this week's Raw, I would say. Very fun to watch, I would say that, and that was this. This was, and in the end we saw Asuka actually tries to lock in Asuka lock, and Nikki just escaped her the Asuka lock, and Nikki rolls out, leg scissors roll up and gets a pin, and Nikki had a lot of it's having a lot of momentum. I would see Nikki winning as well. I mean, they are kind of telling that Nikki could win. Nikki could win. I mean, they have gone either way as well, like pushing the superstar and just have to surprise and all, and have done WWE guys. They have did it, but still, she's getting very big push. Actually, she had big plans actually, just like Alexa Bliss and all. And eventually, we can see that Alexa Bliss and the baddest evil versus the good evil character that we see. And when actually Eva Marie actually attacked, Doudrop attacked Alexa Bliss, I actually had a sympathy on Alexa Bliss. I don't know. Sometimes it's like Alexa Bliss is a heel. Sometimes it's like Alexa Bliss is a face. She's a very confusing kind of. In kind of character, I would say, but she's fun to watch and she's evolving, so that's good. So that's one of the better things that the Monday Night Raw is having. So that's it, and we get to the next segment where Raiders are backstage to talk about their matches against AJ and Omos in singles competition, and they're going to teach AJ respect and gain the victory in Omos' first singles match. And AJ says that he says he's got something get off his chest. He tells the Viking Raider that he had said some things that may have been offensive, so he wants to apologize. Never should have called them barbarians, and he said something that they are hairy, uneducated barbarians. They cost him the opportunity to be the Money in the Bank. Just normal stuff, and he would be breaking his ankle with a calf crusher. And Omos will have his first ever singles match on Raw, and they will destroy them as a team and show everyone why they are the tag team champions. And that ended the promo, and it was a very confident promo before the match. A decent promo by both AJ and Omos. AJ and Omos were very hopeful for me. I mean, when they were teamed up, when they were doing, they have certainly had a good, good title run, I would say, with Raw Tag Team Champions. I expect that maybe almost turning on AJ. I expect very, very well, and AJ turning babyface or something. AJ is a good heel, I would say that, but he's a good babyface actually. If you think so, he's a good heel, but he actually works out a very good heel when he has a faction that it's sim around because. That's a staple for AJ Styles. We have seen in past NJPW days and all. So that's what I expected. That's what my thought was. So that what are your expectations? What are your expectations on this tag team? Will they turn in coming weeks or something, in next pay per view or something, or maybe they would be kind of. In 6 months or so they would be there. So tell me your thoughts on that, and we get to the singles match of AJ Styles versus High War. And this match was a better match than the this Omos versus Eric. And that match was very bad. I mean, that match was awful. That doesn't have nothing actually. They didn't do anything. They actually shoved almost with a big strength advantage. They shoved it off each other and just ended there. That was the match fourth actually. I don't want to discuss actually, but as he actually Eric almost actually ended him with the kind of a choke slam, kind of tree slam, yeah, and cover and gets a victory. And it was completely kind of squash match. But AJ and Ivar really did work well. I mean, with Ivar's size and all, and having the cartwheel and all, he actually does very well, man. He's one of the big guy who does this kind of maneuver in the entire roster. Actually, you could say that no one this does like him, but. So they are not my favorite tag team or something, but there's no tag team scenario that's interesting actually. Even AJ Styles and Omos is not my favorite, but still that's very the tag team situation is very, very thin right now. Yeah. So, but still, it is what it is. But this match was small, short, and it had a good moment here and there. They worked it very well. A good, decent, decent, fun TV match, I would say. And AJ Styles got got the was going to get the victory, as in the end we saw a Pele kick from AJ. AJ rushes to Ivar, and Ivar sits on the chest of AJ and sits down hard with a pin, with a leverage pin, and got the victory for Ivar. And that's a 1-1 actually. Eric got the victory with Omos then, and that was there. And that's the match. So we are down with four matches, and we go to the next segment where Sheamus is pissed backstage, wearing a black mask on his face, saying he's here to defend his title. He's finally actually is coming back. He's going to defend. This was announced last week. Humberto Carrillo and they have a discussion, they have a discussion actually where Sheamus had reluctantly said that he's going to be defending the title. And he actually smiled actually when Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville wasn't kind of doubtful that he's saying like he's going to be defending. Something's going to happen kind of. And that was like Sheamus attacked brutally Humberto Carrillo. I expected this story ending should be look like Humberto Carrillo getting the victory. I expected that, but they didn't do it actually. I would speak about that. Before that, I missed on this segment. Backstage, Kofi and Woods are celebrating and Lindsay Dorado and Metallic comes and they wish good luck for the WWE Championship match. And Sarah Schreiber comes up and asking if tonight was a sign of what's to come. And Kofi says it again. Woods just beat the Almighty. And speaking of which, he has returned to the Thunderdome and will attend the VIP lounge. Kofi says, of course, he'd rather be distracted than focus on the title shot. And Woods say they are going to keep the wins rolling on because Kofi will win on Sunday. And Kofi doesn't care about what Bobby wants to be portrayed as, because Bobby should know how difficult it is to be champion. And Kofi says it's not about VIP launch or party, it's about being our best. And he tells about his past WWE Championship and how he was hardworking for what he had done. And he will shock the world in front of live audience again and beat Lashley to become the champion. Nothing kind of heel turn expectation from Xavier Woods. I mean, it's good. I mean, they didn't turn it around very fast or something. I mean, they can do this storyline very well. They can have the piece by piece storyline played out in every Raw, and I just thought about that. There's so many angles they can do. The Hurt Business angle I'm telling about. So, and after that we saw after that we saw Sheamus destroying Humberto, and Sheamus walks away from, and Damian Priest saw this, and Damian Priest is helping out, and thought about that Sheamus' next challenger would be Damian Priest. As we get to the next match, which was the United States Championship, a squash match. Humberto Carrillo reluctantly accepted that they're going to make his chance out of the most, and he hits bro kick, and that was it. Sheamus gets a victory. Damien Priest comes up, and he had his face off, and maybe we could see Sheamus versus Damien Priest. Good man, good. I mean, Damien Priest could be a very good US champion, a mid card champion could be. That would be a good representation for Damien Priest as well. He didn't get any championship kind of opportunity and a rivalry, so that's good. I mean, that good booking. I mean, something they are doing with Damien Priest. He's not just roaming around, just cutting promo with Riddle actually, so that's good. And we get to recap of Ricochet and Morrison's saga, and all the things they had, and Ricochet has a surprise in his Falls Count Anywhere match tonight, he says, and enrolls Miz and Morrison, and Miz rolls over Riddle's foot with the wheelchair. Riddle says they are going to down. So maybe they could have the tag team match next week or something. Riddle and Ricochet versus the. Yeah, I mean, Miz is injured. I don't know how they will play out. Don't know. But still, yeah, that's a thing. So but still, that was a good segment where Ricochet and Morrison were discussing about each other, and Riddle is excited. He's going to make a spaghetti burrito and watch his favorite Western movie, Toy Story 2, and he's like, Toy Story 2? I mean, snake in my boot remind me of Brandy, although Randy is more of a snake in his heart than his boot, he says. Riddle says if he wins the contract, he will cash in on the Raw Tag Team Champions, and Ricochet asks, can you do that? Can you do that? I mean, that was funny, man. Ricochet wonders if that can happen. Since Randy must know, Riddle says he will invite him over for some spaghetti and tell him then. So he's a very foodie lover and likes to party it out. So that's his character. I mean, Matt Riddle, Riddle's character is really good. It's really fun moment of every week Raw, I would say that, and certainly it's good. And yeah. So Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash segment, Riddle's segment. I mean, this all things look like a childish or something. It's not serious, but still, it's fun kind of thing that he actually is putting around. So that makes us laugh as well. So kind of entertainment-ish kind of thing that I felt. The product is moving in that range, and we are kind of digesting it. I think so. We are molding into that entertainment kind of product more. So that's why. But still, that's it. That's what it is. And we get to the sixth match, a Falls Count Anywhere match between Ricochet and John Morrison. Good match, I would say that. I wasn't. I didn't. This had a lot of time actually, but this had they did give a lot of time in this match, and this match was good, and they did a very good work here, and we saw some good wrestling here with his innovative maneuvers by John Morrison that we expect, and Ricochet with his flying maneuvers and his athletic prowess. And Ricochet stands on the barricade, 450 splash, and there was so many flying moments here and there for Ricochet. And he's just so good in this kind of match. I mean, I've no doubt how they didn't actually script Ricochet into the Money in the Bank briefcase match, because he's just so good. He creates moment because of that. I've just watched 2019 Money in the Bank match, and I was just like, man. I mean, he just even though the Brock was the one who actually who actually got the in the contract actually, but all the work have done was Andrade, Finn Balor, especially Finn Balor and Ricochet did, Ali, and they did a really great job having interest into this match. These high flying guys have really showcase their talent, and that actually creates excitement for these kind of matches, stipulative matches. So there's a good choice that Ricochet is included actually. I mean, even though the odds are not favorite for him to win this time as well, but we could see down the line in years to come, maybe he would be becoming the Money in the Bank contract winner. So they should not release him. He's a very good star. Ricochet is a very good star, and I'm very hopeful that he could be a good world champion as well one day. I am very hopeful that he's just working very well with Miz and John Morrison, and all the stuff he's doing in the promos as well is good. I mean, just decent to watch through. I mean, it's fun to watch through. It's not like a very bad or something. So that was the match. We saw punch to the face of Morrison springboard. Morrison rolls to the outside, Ricochet in the ring. He hop up on the top rope onto the ring post, launches him to the air, and shooting star press onto Morrison. That was a great shooting star press. So moments were there in this match, and actually Morrison actually hit his chin on the barricade, and that was a very nasty kind of landing for Morrison actually. And they were onto the standing onto the ledge of the barricade, and that was another moment. And they get into the backstage as well. This is false count anywhere where we could expect that. So they actually go to the backstage, and they have they actually hits out into the MITB hanging LED, and they're going backstage, and Morrison is waiting, and it's a super kick, and that was a smart work by Morrison. And they have a big boot to the face, and high knee to the face of to the face of Ricochet when he was sitting onto the chair. So such good moments were there here and there. And in the end, we saw Ricochet grabs. Excuse me. Ricochet grabs Morrison, sends him into the ring, and hops up onto the apron, and gets a shoulder to Morrison, and into a topical kick to the ropes. Miss with a dripstick and some shenanigans from Miss. Ricochet is distracted, and Morrison rolls Ricochet up and cover, but kicks out kick from Morrison, spinning neck breaker, and Morrison drags Ricochet to the corner, and Riddle comes up, kind of a distraction for to help kind of Ricochet for Miss what he was doing. And that was a good moment. What a funny moment that was, man. And that created this match a very great moment. And he just deliberately tilted his wheelchair of Miss, and he's just kind of crying like a baby, and he's just not able to pick him up, and Matt Riddle is mimicking him, and that was great. So funny. And Morrison kicks, springboard dives into a recoil, and Riddle Morrison on the apron. Ricochet high kick, Morrison hangs over the ladder. He falls onto it, and a great ending spot that they had there. A flying splash onto Morrison and to the ladder. A great ending to the spot, getting into the match, I would say. A legit kind of false count of anywhere ending, I would say. And that created Morrison not picking up on the 10 count. And this match was good, and like a very good match, I would say. That a very good false count anywhere match. Don't know what's next plans for them are, but we could see another rematch as well. Don't know. And we could then we see very another bad thing, Natalya. She's not good on the mic. She had a promo. She wants to hold the tag team titles, and ever since they actually won the tag team titles, they were initially good, but had a good title defenses with I think so with the past champions. So yeah. So but after that, they aren't doing very well, and they should be the title should be changed. And now I think so they are not doing very great. The wrestling is good, but the character and the promos they cut is not good. And we saw Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they are laughing, and they have a altercation, and just there, and Dana is pushed on by Tamina, and that was it. And maybe we could see next week the women's tag team championship match, and we get a surprising match: Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. Actually, Natalya says that she's actually had a challenge to Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley had a promo with I think so, Sarah Schreiber, and she says that she doesn't downs the challenge, and she's going to pick all challenge. And surprisingly, this was so good, man. I mean, Natalia is so very good in the ring. When we see in the promos and the character and all, she's very bad. She's not good to listen. But Natalia and Rhea Ripley had a very great chemistry. I didn't know about that. They should have. Sometimes it's like that. You don't know how the chemistry would be happening. I would like to see their championship match or something down the line, but I don't know WWE would be having. I mean, certainly not in the pay-per-view or something. I'm not expecting, I'm not wanting that, certainly, but I want in a Monday Night Raw episode or something. This was so good, man. This was so worked very well, and they had a good technical wrestling kind of reversing the arm, flipping over the arm, and shoulder tackles, escaping the roll up, grabbing the leg, goes for a sharpshooter. Rhea kicks out of the ring. Rhea rolls out, rushes and drop kick Tamina, and shenanigans was not also not there so much, and a good match, I would say, a well fought match by Natalya, and a well worked match by Rhea Ripley as well. And in the end, we saw Natalia reaches for the ropes, hooks the legs into a pin, but didn't get the victory. Natty with another roll up, but it's a sharpshooter attempt. Rhea fights it, and she gets locked into that. Her Rhea's submission maneuver. Rhea rolls through, sending Natalya into the corner head first. Rhea runs with a kick, pump handle, and finally hits that riptide and covers Rhea Ripley. So it was a very predictable match. We know that, but just a thrown away match, filler match. But this was a good match, and so the false count anywhere match, Rhea Ripley Natalya match was a good match. I mean, I'm saying that Natalya match is good. I mean, there's not a lot of Natalya match that's good actually. So she's a good singles wrestler than a tag team wrestler. We could see she good works in tag team as well, but she had a good singles. She's very good at singles kind of filling out kind of matches. She do very well. So post match, we saw Charlotte attacks the back of the leg, chop blocks her, and Charlotte continues to attack, have the figure four, and locked into onto the bottom of the apron, hanging over to the apron, and she leaves. She leaves it, and that was the final build to the Charlotte Rhea Ripley affair. I mean, the match. I'm not very excited for this match. They should be done with this. Rhea Ripley hopefully should turn babyface and should have a next challenger or something. Maybe Tony Storm. I mean, Tony Storm is going to SmackDown. Don't know, from NXT or something. I want some new women's to have a challenge for the Raw Women's title. Same kind of thing. So we got to the next segment, the main event segment. We didn't have a match. It's a May VIP launch, and MVP's in the ring with all ladies, and they have champagne in the head and dancing. And MVP says it's the last episode of Raw in the Thunderdome. This is where we saw the rise of Lashley. We'll call this place the Thunderdome, Lashley Dome, and he introduces Lashley. So when he actually tripped down all the lane, I actually had a thought that maybe they are going to end the Hurt Business once and for all, like Bobby Lashley attacking MVP or something. And Lashley doesn't come out. His music does play, and MVP actually announces actually invites multiple times with a loud roar with girls and all, and but still ladies were also announcing, but he finally comes out, and Lashley tells MVP, and he was very angry. He's not very into the suit, and he's very kind of businessman look. He wasn't like that. He was just in a rug kind of look, and he just tie was hanging around kind of in that look. He was very upset, and Lashley tells MVP, and Lashley tells ladies first that they should get out of it, and I want to speak with MVP. And Lashley tells MVP he's said enough. He tells the ladies to leave the ring. He needs to talk to MVP. Lashley says he's thinking about what Kofi said, and the more he thought about it, Kofi, and he thinks that they were not wrong. They are right. Everything MVP said about Lashley losing his edge was right. What happened? He lost to Xavier Woods. He should dismantle him and should have stacked him and Kofi up in a pile of broken bones, he says. He's furious right now and tried to cheer him up with champagne and women. And he actually warns MVP that once it for all that this ain't gonna be happening. And do you think like I'm gonna be leaving all the upset and all by drinking some champagnes and giggling around the ladies? I don't want that, he says that. And MVP is stunned, and he's like, okay man, okay, how we get to business. He says the only goal we have is to destroy every soul. He didn't kicked MVP out of, like, he just said that we aren't doing like this kind of stuff, we the ladies. And so So that's not gonna happen. So we may be seeing very strong Lashley, and love a lot the strong Lashley. And if he splits from MVP, that would be also not bad, because it's already had a very good run with Hurt Business, and that rub that MVP had given, and he could be a good singles. Singles. A very independent kind of, not a dependent on MVP kind of, because at some point after that we could see, we thought about that he's just with MVP. MVP does all the things, so that's a good way to branch out from MVP as well. So he didn't attack, he just warned him, and MVP Lashley's very angry, and he just tossed all the things, all the set of VIP launch, and uh, Lashley grabs the mic again, and he tosses tables and bottles and plants. And he actually F5'd, I could say, the sofa. That's so much weight, man. He just picked him. He didn't pick up the last sofa, but he picked up the one sofa, and that was so big. And he speaks directly to Kofi again. This weekend, he will do what he should have done already, and he will tear Kofi in the half, and he will go in champion and leave the same. And he hopes Kofi brings his family and friends and the whole universe to get his back, because Lashley will dismantle him to and do everything that he was going to do. He hoped Kofi is ready for the fight for his life, because it's not for the championship, this is for his life, and he's going to carve his skull in. Very very big words from Lashley, a very strong, very angry Lashley that we've been not seen for many long weeks right now. So it's a very good ending, I would say. A lot of questions like maybe MVP betraying, or betraying Lashley, and Kofi getting the championship. That would be a very shocking kind of ending, man. How they would be doing another angle, like Xavier would pin Bobby Lashley, so now he has the right to challenge Bobby Lashley if he retains. Or if Kofi Instant win the championship, that would be a Kofi Instant Xavier Woods rivalry as well. So I don't think so completely. Bobby Lashley erasing out of the WWE Championship picture. Just they are going to the crowd. That would not be good. Just hanging around with SummerSlam, and then you can do whatever you want. SummerSlam you can do Lashley. That would be a good money match if you do with Lesnar, Brock Lesnar coming back. That should be good. So lots of angles they can play out, and certainly a very good ending and a surprising ending to Monday Night Raw that I for one didn't expect it. So all in all, I would say the storyline expected had some. The build up and all, that's not bad. That's just there. That's bad. But the go home show was bad. But still, the future forward storyline stuff, that was good from the whole WWE Championship storyline. That was good. I expect some build up. I expect something that could be brewing. The whole situation that actually played out the Lashley MVP and Kofi Kingston scenario. So that's this episode. Some good matches, some good fun moments, and whole in all, I would say that this was not a bad Raw. This was a pretty decent to pretty good, you can say. Sometimes only one bad stuff, and that was the match of, I would say, the Omos match, and the another match was there where, yeah, I don't remember, one more match was there. Yeah, so that's the Sheamus Humberto Carrillo, just a filler match, and a good TV match of Rhea and Natalya. So this was the show, and whole in all, I would say this was a pretty decent to good ending for the Thunderdome era for Monday Night Raw. Finally, we are getting crowd back next week, and the match, the tag team championship match, the Viking Raiders versus Omos, that actually is being shifted to Money in the Bank actually, and it's good, man. Raw tag team championship is actually going to be different in the pay-per-view. That's good, and. And that's the thing, and apart from that, I would say a great ending. This past 1.5 years of Thunderdome era wasn't very good. It was up and down. I already said that. So there were some great moments, good moments, some bad moments as well, and but still, it was a good ride, and it was a good emotional ride, I would say. I would not miss the Thunderdome era, but I would be remembering this era definitely, because down some years after we would be remembering like WWE had this day as well, where they were doing shows like in this kind of environment. So that's my thought on the Thunderdome era. What are your thoughts? The ending to Thunderdome era, and what are your thoughts? Crowds coming back and all, and how excited are you? And what are your Money in the Bank predictions? You can tell about in the comment section below. Who are your what match actually are mostly excited for in the Money in the Bank? And that's it. And SmackDown episode is inching towards nearer and nearer. I'm so excited, and some great matches there as well. Six-man tag team championship, the six-man tag team match, and the Fatal Four match, and so great to crowds returning back. So more than happy that Thunderdome era is getting ended. So we bid adieu to Thunderdome era, and we bid adieu to this episode review. I hope you liked it. Please make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Until then, be safe, stay energetic, peace.